they're the ones who I see in society are kind of being ignored. They're the ones who I see need a leg up. They're the ones who I see need a space where they can be open and honest without judgment and just hear an opinion from somebody or from a woman at least, who tell them, hey, it's cool, man. Like, you don't have to do everything. Welcome to the Lips and Language podcast. My name is Cola, where we talk about life, love, and language. Remember to subscribe, like, and share. Let's get into today's topic. Today I want to talk about one of my favorite topics, which is men's mental health. Now, over the years, I've been working with various men, and I've observed my friends and fathers and just different people. And what I realized is that not enough of society cares about men's mental health. And I know you might be thinking, well, that's not me. Of course I care. But when we look at society and we look at the men that are being raised and we look at how men are portrayed in society, then we really get a sense of the fact that when they talk about mental health, when they talk about fears, when they talk about anything that is not deemed masculine, all of a sudden there's an issue. All of a sudden it's like, get over it, toughen up. There's this weight and pressure on them that might be invisible to most, but to the ones who can see, know that it's there. And we need to address it because men are leaders in society. In the Bible, it talks about men being the leaders and wives submitting to them. And I know a lot of people get all up in their panties about submission, but submission is important. It's not just about submitting everything to a man, but it's also being able to be led by somebody. Have you ever seen those people who want to be leaders so bad, but they can't be a team player? And it's like, well, you're not ready to be a leader until you're a team player. The same thing for women. We have to learn how to play on the team. We have to learn how to play our roles. And I'm not talking gender specific roles. I'm talking about the roles in which we are supportive, yes, but we're also helping and cultivating a culture of love and balance and a space of vulnerability where the men, they can take off the pressures of the world, especially when it comes to Black men. They get enough trauma from just living day to day in the life with people who are racist, prejudiced, all the rest of it. When they come back home, they don't want to be fighting. They don't want to be arguing. Some of them, a lot of them just want their peace. And I'm not saying that women are to become their peace, because your peace can only be found in God. But I mean, cultivating a space of peace, cultivating a home where they can come and they can relax, and not just, when I say this, man, I'm not saying y'all just get to come home, kick off shoes, and do nothing. That's just lazy. But when you cultivate an atmosphere of peace, everything could be going wrong, but everybody's okay. Everybody mentally sound. They know a whole bunch of yelling. Like, being strong in a storm is the best kind of strength. It's not when a storm happens, everything got to be easy peasy and ain't nobody have no issues. Is that when issues are happening, you're able to maintain your sanity. You're able to maintain your stance. You're able to stand tall because you understand that storms are going to come. And when your peace is in God and you're grounded, that stuff can't bother you. That stuff can't riddle you. That stuff can't get you high anxiety and yelling and all the rest of it. And so there's something really important about men's mental health. And me personally, I really want to work with men. I really want to continue my work with men, because I already work with them, but I want to continue my work with men because they're the ones who I see in society are kind of being ignored. They're the ones who I see need a leg up. They're the ones who I see need a space where they can be open and honest without judgment and just hear an opinion from somebody or from a woman at least, who tell them, hey, it's cool, man. Like, you don't have to do everything by yourself. You don't have to take on the whole world. You can chill out. Not enough people are acknowledging. As women, a lot of us are just expecting. And we don't realize the pressures that's putting on these men. We don't realize, we're just like, nah, they're men. They can toughen up. They can take it. We've been taught and conditioned from young that men are just these almost like robots that just handle everything. They show no emotion. They show up for sex, and they provide all that we need. Well, at the end of the day, men are still human. They still have emotions. They weren't shown how to show them. There wasn't a culture cultivated for them to feel like, oh, okay, I can show my emotions. So that's why little boys grow up to be grown men who are not emotionally intelligent. We need to cultivate an area or a system or a society where men are able to express their emotions. They're able to be vulnerable. They're able to be supported when they want to do these big things. Like, they need backing too. And it's really sad that I've watched over the years how I've watched women belittle men, talk down to them, talk about how much money they ain't trying to make or they don't have. And these are really, really good guys who just need a little bit of compassion. Just like, and when I say a little bit, I mean, I see women don't even want to give this little bit. Of course they need more, but even just a little bit, women are so like emotionless when it comes to men. Like, women have a lot of emotions for men, but they're emotionless when it comes to men and their feelings and the things that they're going through. And so men's mental health has been on my heart to talk about because it's really important. And as I have entered in this space and I've talked to them and I've been open with them, I've been vulnerable myself with them, and they've in exchange been vulnerable back, I notice I'm like, no, this is an area that needs addressing. This is an area that needs a space to talk about. This is an area where men need to be able to write down their feelings and discuss it openly and talk about the weight of the world. Because the more that they don't talk about the weight of the world, the more the world's going to crush them. And then what do we do? What do we do when men aren't available? What do we do when they're too battered and bruised to do anything? We can't go through life without men. I know we like to champion as women. We're like, oh, they can't go through life without us. They can't make babies, all this other stuff. Cool. But we also can't go through life without them. We need them just as much. I say this all the time when I talk about my baby father. He wasn't in no way a great man for my son. In no way. He could have been, but he just wasn't there. But here's the thing. I never bashed him. My son always knew who his daddy was. And I never came against him because at the end of the day, my son couldn't have been in this world without that man. And so I respect him for the sperm donor he was. And literally, outside of donating sperm, he didn't do nothing else for us. I respect him for that. Because without him, he wouldn't have been in this world. Did I want him to do more? Absolutely. But I already know that men go through complexities, and it's mostly in their minds, mostly it's in their brains, and they don't let it out. They don't let us in order for us to have a better understanding. And so a lot of times we got to read between the lines. And after a while, it gets tired. We get tired of reading between the lines. We get tired of trying to guess what's wrong, what's this, what's that. We get tired of trying to hold it all together and put the pieces all in one place. It is not fair to us to continue living in that way. But that's why men's mental health needs to be addressed. That's why we need to open up spaces. We need to create the programs that they'll feel comfortable taking. There's so much stigma around men not getting therapy that the ones who are waking up are like, screw that, I need it. But there's still others who are like, man, that ain't for me. And what would it look like if we were in a world with healed men? What would it look like? Men and women. But what would it look like when the leaders are healing and they know how to express emotion? They know how to talk. They know how to communicate. They know how to, yes, be manly, because that's an amazing quality that they have. But they also know how to be vulnerable. They also know how to share when things are going on. They also know how to talk about their day when it bothers them. Not to the point that women talk, because we can talk a lot, but even in the little bit that they give, that was accepted and that was with purpose. Man, we need to reevaluate the way that we treat people in society. We truly do. There is space for all of us to get healed and all of us to live differently. There is space for life to look differently and better than it does now. Because with the world going the way it is going, we need more people stepping up and being like, you know what? I don't want to live like my past. I don't want to live like my parents. I don't want to live like how I've been taught. I want something different. And I'm all here for it. So I'm keeping it short today. That is the conversation. Men's mental health is really important. I have a program. We're going to talk about it next. What would it look like if we were a people that were healed? What would it look like if we were people that believed in doing the work necessary to remove trauma, to get through grief, and to come out on the other side? Man, we think that therapy is the only way. Therapy is a great way, but there's also a creative way that can help us get through this process. My name is Cola. I am an amazing artist, and I have a program called Restore and Embrace Myself. It is all about the healing and the getting through and the getting over. And if nobody told you, you are special and you are so deserving of so much more in this world. So get in contact with me because I'd love to work with